Hello, good evening, and welcome to round 3 of the CMSL Cup group stages. As you can see, just Fifey tonight. Clearly, the merriment going on north of the border meant that nobody was coherent enough to appear on CoCons, but that's fine. It's not the first time I'm on my own, and with just 4 games, I'm sure I'll be just fine. At least I have a voice for this one, that is for sure. Even Tato, Duggan, and Mr. Edwards, who I can see already appearing in the chat. And speaking of Duggan, congratulations to the man who, as anyone who read the CMSL news the other day or has seen the cover picture for this episode, Dragons have got Manager of the Month and Player of the Month with Ronaldinho, while Steve Wright and White Rose Pelazzoli wins Young Player of the Month. We are in a new year. As you can see, it's New Year's Day 2002, and that sees Game Week 3, the remaining fixtures of the group stages before we get to the quarterfinals. Evening Steve, I've just seen there. I will try and do the maths as we go at the same time to see who goes through and who doesn't. With no one on CoComs, it doesn't really matter what order we go in. So let's get straight into the action. And we are going to Group B. So as it stands in this group, Bostock, who we see here, the home side tonight, Evening Dimble, just in time. Bostock currently top of the group on goal difference, 3 points plus 3 goal difference. Badgers, who don't play tonight, also on 3 points, but on -1. Coast, who are the away side this evening, 0 points after losing their first game, -2 goal difference. So to stand any chance of qualifying, Coast need to win by 3. Yes, I think the maths is right. By 3 goals, Coast need to win, stand any chance. A lot of the sides remaining the same tonight. But let's just have a quick check in on Bostock first. And they are one of those sides who have gone unchanged from the side that beat Badgers 4-1 in the last game. Are the quarterfinals getting drawn tonight? They are. They are indeed, sir. I've already got the list of who will be who will be playing who in terms of positions. It's just finding out how the league table's finished. And yes, those who've been paying attention to the news or reading the ticker, that World Cup group should be easy pickings for Mike. The news going out that Australia and the Wizard of Oz Challenge has been drawn as well. FIFA announced that Australia will be in Group C alongside South Korea, Tunisia, and I really should have noted this down if I was going to say it. Wait for the ticker to come over to see who the third team is. Hopefully it'll come to me before it comes out, because that'd be impressive. But yes, definitely South Korea and Tunisia are in that group. I can't remember who the third nation are. Duggan's still a moth. Oh, Ukraine, the ticker tells me, is the third side. Looking forward to the end of the season when looking forward to the end of the season when we can do the World Cup with Mike. But it's all about the CMSL group stages. So as we say, Coast to qualify need to beat Bostock by 3 clear goals to stand any chance. Stanley realistically, a point guarantees them, avoiding defeat guarantees them topping the group. Is the simple maths here. Let's have a look at what Coast have done then. And they've withdrawn the wingers back to DML positions with longer arrows. Come on, Bostock, says Tato. Well, you say that, mate. You've got 3 points sitting second currently in the table, but it's the -1 goal difference going to cost you a place in the quarters. We will soon find out. A couple of changes, particularly in goal. Stefan Kloss coming in for Dimble tonight. Samuel and Bernardi playing the wing-back roles. Mon the Narrow, says Scott. Good evening, pal. Let's get into the action and round off Group B. Won't cost me if Bostock win. Well, you said again, it depends, doesn't it, Tato? Because it's only the top 2 best second place finishers. So if you're not one of the best 2 second place finishers because of your goal difference, it'll cost you, is what I'm trying to explain. Not all the second places go through. Let's kick off game number 1. Oh, pennies dropped. And it's a good start by Bostock. Yet to score there. There it is, and it's Kennedy Bakasioglu on 18 minutes, who gives the home side the lead. Big ask now for Coast to go through. I'm out then, forget it. Shambles. Well, you were doing so well after game 1 and then threw it away in game 2. Approaching half-time here. Bostock cruising at the moment to top of to win their group, to win Group B. We've got to half-time. Not a classic being played out, but Bostock do have the lead courtesy of that Kennedy goal. Looking through the ratings, Cabello not seeing much the ball, nor as Bus. Kennedy as well, surprisingly considering his position, but he has done all that is required. Macca's life is a lucky woman. Scott saying roll. As for Coast, another goalkeeper performance causing a bit of a letdown, but you can see there's so many 6s throughout the side as well. Need some bigger players, the likes of Pinardi, Mascoro, Oya as well. Need to start stepping up and doing their bit for the team. It's going to take one hell of a second half revival, but there is also the element of pride to play for. So interesting to see if Dimble does anything here. So few touches from anybody. It's quite concerning, really. It's gone horribly wrong for Coast. Just about every game, Ian, is how many times 5 feet is said, not a classic. You were being unfairly tarnished with the brush when really it was East Coast that were boring the living shit out of everybody watching the Super League this season, which is a shock because Dimble's normally quite an exciting team to watch. 5 who got manager of the month, by the way, as I alluded to in the intro, and has been going along the ticker, and as was announced in the news, and as was the main pick for this video, that was Dragons. And Dimble reacting, he's going for it, making all 3 changes. Balak, Bruno and Reed on for Petit. RSC. And Pinardi. There we go. Bruno Fatoli is on. Let's see if those changes can get East Coast back into the game, never mind the tournament. Yellow card handed out. They are doing slightly better now, the away side. Approaching the hour mark. I think it was Hopkins. We've reached the hour mark, still 1-0, but East Coast certainly playing their way back into it. Now, Scott still has 3 changes available to him this evening. See what he would do. A couple of players on yellow cards, friendly competition. No concern there. No real fitness issues either. But Strand is coming on for Jardel. Roberto. Who? Tonetto. Thank you. Tonetto. There's 2 changes done. Just wait to see if Scott wants to make a third. victory. So results staying like this, we'll see Stanley go through as group winners, being in Group B. That will give them an away tie in the quarter-finals. As for Coast, no substitutions left available. But if Dimble would like to make any tactical changes, now would be the time to do so. While we wait for that confirmation. So the quarterfinals, Dragons will be at home to the second best runners-up. Astor will be at home to the first best runners-up. The winners of A host the winners of D, and the winners of C will host the winners of this group. Scorer up top. One at the back. Diagonal arrows to centre forward on the 2 a.m. Just like that, I believe, Dimble. Just confirm that is correct, and we will carry on. Spot on, lovely. So the teams that get buys also get a home game in the next round. I just drew it at random, and that's how it came out. There was that wasn't planned. That's just how it came out while I was waiting to go live. Let's resume the action. Nicking Al's tactics here. And coming into the final 10 minutes of this tie, still very much the home side on top. Free kick awarded, Sauer takes it. Tinetto. What if two runner-up teams have -1 goal difference, goals scored in an alphabetical order? Strand offside, heading towards injury time. Scorer picks it up. Free kick. Balak lines it up. Mazzantini gets there. And there is the final whistle. Stanley winning 1-0, taking their tally to the campaign to 6 points alongside Gazelles, who also managed that feat. Just fill in my little board here so we can keep an eye on what's going on. So that means Bostock guaranteed an away tie in the fourth quarter final. Probably deservedly so, looking at the stats. Surely goal scored. Yes, goal scored, Steve. That's correct. What a performance. Not a classic indeed. Excuse me. That did make me smile. Let's have a more in-depth look. Kennedy getting man of the match. Despite the goal, he looked a bit disappointing in the first half, but much, much better. And Bostock seemingly controlling the game for the most part. Kennedy getting man of the match. Will anyone have their eye on him when it comes to transfers? These are all the players in this tournament the majority of the players in this tournament trying to catch the eyes, firstly, of their team managers for a opportunity to be called up to the first team, and if not, to some of the other managers who may wish to give them a chance. Stefan Cross improved his performance in that second half, but actually very, very disappointing. Still, the ball retention touch is not a lot throughout the squad. And I think Dimble will be quite disappointed with how his side have ultimately fared in the first ever CMSL Cup, crashing out in the group stage when it comes to transfers, he said. Crashing out in the group stages, 0 points, and a -3 goal difference. But congratulations to Bostock Stanley, who qualify from the group. Next up, we are headed to Group A and Triple P against Bolton Casuals. So the current state of this, Gazelles have already won the group. 6 points from their 2 games, +3 goal difference. Both of these sides on 0 points as it stands. Triple P on a -1 goal difference. Casuals on a -2. Only a win is good enough here. We start with the casuals, who have done a couple of surprise things. Starting with going with a flat 4-4-2 tactic, no arrows, no anything. Interesting to see how this plays out. Right, let's have a draw here. Need a big win here, probably won't get it. Yeah, so flat 4-4-2 by the casuals. Indeed, horrible. The also interesting thing is in the initial plan selection, Olaf Melberg was selected at centre half, but he's actually injured. Dietmar Hamann then selected to replace him, despite both Parnaby and Woolwork being on the pitch. Hamann playing at centre back. Another absentee from this game is where is he? Who was unavailable? Gilhelm, who was also in the initial side. So Libropoulos goes up top for the casuals. Let's have a look what Triple P have offered us tonight. Jamie Victory going to lead the side out for Hodgie. So they've started with 3 up top. D'Alessandro has come in for Zidane. Acuna also in that midfield. And Walter's so casual, they are Dosses. Interesting Macca comments there, because the infamous CMSL player Chris Sutton starting for Triple P tonight as well. You do your transfers, Rob. So yes, as we say, both sides need to win this one to stand any chance of qualifying. Teams such as Badgers hoping for a draw. We kick off the action. Interested to see how this flat 4-4-2 works out. If you don't win here, you need to resign. It started quite well for Triple P, just not scoring yet. It is all the home side in the early exchanges. And there is the goal. It's Chris Sutton on 23 minutes opens the scoring for the home side. Trezeguet tries to double the advantage. I'm seeing Harman's name a lot, not necessarily in a good way. Candea goes in the book. Henningberg getting involved. Acuna goes in the book. Oh, and there's an opportunity there, and Parnaby getting involved. And Venegar of Hesselink levels things up on the stroke of half-time. It is 1 apiece. Late goal in that first half to keep casuals in with a shout. But just look at the amount of opportunities the home side have had. What's the goal difference of these two again? So going into the game, well, actually it would still be now. Triple P are on -1 and have now scored 2 goals in the competition. Casuals are on -2. This was their first goal in the competition. I'm glad you guys are trying to do the maths at the same time I am. It's very, very helpful indeed. Let's have a look at the home side first. Sutton there with his 8 rating. Emmanuel Petit, C3 legends. Emmanuel Petit also having a, well, I would argue that's quite a generous 9 at halftime, but he's certainly getting favourable ratings, that is for sure. Relatively strong looking bench as well if Rob wants to use it. As for casuals, I don't even think I've seen Hodgie yet in the chat, so he may well just be letting it play out. Given that he's gone flat 4-4-2, I'm sure he's not that bothered anyway. But again, much like the other games, 6s throughout the side, letting them down. Well, Danny Mills, Henningberg, I suppose that's less of a concern. Parnaby in centre midfield, not seeing a lot of the ball. There's not a lot of creativity when the central midfield is Ronnie Woolwork and Stuart Parnaby. Arrows up on my DML. Penza off for Pinto. And Trezeguet off for Inzaghi. double change it is for Triple P. They are, well, the changes look like they're going for it, but of course they've brought off big names like Emil and Penza. A state of Super League. And the home side continuing to dominate this game. Can they get the goal that domination deserves, though? Petit goes in the book. And we pause the game on the hour with the away side having an attacking free kick. As we know, Gazelle's already guaranteed a home fixture. This is all about now just trying to qualify for that quarterfinals. Interesting. Rob has one change left. Should he wish to use it? And if so, where? Alf did put in a request to have a game for Asta arranged as well because he feels left out. Unfortunately, it was too late in the diary for a fixture to be arranged for them. So, but everyone will be pleased to know that league fixtures resume, and it'll be game week 15 on Thursday. Wellens, and take the arrow off. Is Richie Wellens the answer here? Quick look at casuals. Just to see how 4-4-2 is coping. See, it's been an interesting fortnight without the league action. It'd be good to get back in there. And there's the golf Triple P. It's Chris Sutton again. Really staking a claim now to be called up to the first team. And there's Pinto off the bench to surely wrap it up. And are they going for goals here, Triple P? Things that shouldn't be said in the Super League for 500, please, Alex. Wellens is king. Oh, for fuck's sake, says Tito. And there is the final whistle. Triple P running out 3-1 winners, which now gives them a goal difference of +1. Casuals finishing with 0 points from the group stages and a -4 goal difference. As it stands, in terms of second places, Triple P 3 points +1, Badgers 3 points -1, Fulchester, who are yet to play their second fixture, 1 point, 0 goal difference, and in Group D, Rose 1 point, 0 goal difference. Sutton is king there. That's them through to the quarters. Not necessarily yet. And Benza has Chris Sutton pajamas. There is still a chance for both Triple P, potentially Badgers are going to struggle. I think they're the first ones of the current second places going to be out. Match stats absolutely dominant from the home side. Very much deserving of the win. Only concern for me is they only scored 3 goals with all of those opportunities. So Hamadic getting man of the match. A couple of 9s dotted throughout as well. Chris Sutton, Emmanuel Petit, Michelle Pinto coming off the bench to get a 9. Simone Inzaghi's performance, not too bad at all, winning all of his headers. A couple of attempts all on target as well. I was just getting a plot prepared on the beach too, Rob. As for casuals, Jens Lehmann, the only player coming out of that with any real credit. Skipper Jamie Victory, really does need to have a word with himself. So commiserations to casuals who are out of the first ever cup, but Triple P's hopes remain. And we head over to Group C. Haggis hosting Fulchester. And so just a reminder then, Haggis currently top, played 1, 3 points +1 goal difference. Fulchester in second, played 1, 1 point, 0 goal difference. Vikings out, played 2, 1 point, and have currently they'll finish on a -1 goal difference. So there's no Vikings in the quarterfinals. But either side can still win this group. And Fulchester need a win to go through. A draw won't be enough with two other sides already on 3 points. Let's have a look at the Fulchester. They keep the same tactics but make a couple of changes. Dan Anderson comes into holding midfield. Petkov goes up into centre midfield alongside Davis. Macera goes further forward into the attacking midfield positions from last time out. It is Tolley who comes out of the side completely. Tato working out his maths there and cheering on Haggis. Former Haggis man Ivan Helguera in the side as well for Fulchester this evening. As for the team currently topping the group, basically, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the situation is he was enjoying himself when all of his mates came to visit that much. He forgot to put a team in and submitted it basically 5 minutes before I started putting them all in. So it is unchanged from the team that beat the Vikings 1-0. Let's see who tops this group then. And Haggis with an early lead through Amoroso. Just 3 minutes on the clock. And there's 2-0. 3-0. Oh, it's been disallowed. Haggis had it all their own way and then have ended up getting a man sent off. Is this the break that Fulchester need? Let's find out. It was all going swimmingly for Badgers as well, with Fulchester 2-0 down. Deserves a transfer ban. So we'll start with Ian. Any changes you'd like to make with respect to the red card? Obviously, Macca, you are allowed to make changes as well. And given that you're 2-0 down, you may wish to do so to give yourself the best opportunity. Confirmation from Edinburgh what the situation is. 2 goals up, but now a man down. Fulchester, once they kick into action, can be dangerous opposition. Darren Laro, Dina into MC. That'll do, mate. Okay. As for you, Macca, any alterations? You should completely dominate that midfield now. There is nobody in there. Still no word coming out of the C-suite for any alterations. Dorchester doesn't help me there, Macca. As long as you enjoyed your weekend, though. Play on, says Tato. This is exactly how he needs it. Ian Live, come on, you don't care. Okay, well, I guess you don't want to make any alterations then, Macca. Tato's getting irritable while he's got his abacus out. I'm just resuming the action. No sound in the car, says Macca. And it's 3-0 to Haggis. And Fulchester, they want a penalty, not given. And this has gone horribly for Fulchester. Haggis look to be setting up a quarter-final tie at home to Bostock Stanley. Fulchester not even having an attempt on goal. Very, very disappointing. Haggis have been superb. They do have 10 men. Amoroso 9 rating. He is in the first team squad. Of course, when we resume the league action on Thursday, that's the last game before the next. That's the last game before the next load of reserve swaps, which I know everyone's very excited for. Macca same role without even seeing his stats, just flashing them up. Andre with a 4. Dan Anderson's not really made any sort of impression since coming in. Selakovic struggling, and only one player, Ivan Helguera, rating at 7 or higher. But the suggestion is full strength from Haggis, pathetic. Some teams taking the cup seriously. Right, that puts us still in second place. It does. You're still the second best second place team. Stupid cup. And Ian says just roll. So let's go to 60 and see if this goes from bad to worse. It does. Rosicky makes it 4-0. And we pause the game here. I'm just going to fill this in already to say that Haggis finished on 6 points. And we'll just wait to see if Ian wants to make any alterations. Rocks want Jimenez on. The irony, Rocks, is that Jimenez wasn't even selected. Only 4 subs were actually named, and I just filled the rest of the bench up. Donny coming on for Jafar. Donny, another player who wasn't actually named to begin with. Jimenez for Amoroso. Macca, any players want a run out for Fulchester? Yeah, still 4s, 5s all over the shop. Helguera's still the only player rating a 7. Unbelievable. This is probably the worst display any team has put in the CMSL Cup to date. And Fulchester looking like finishing rock bottom. Can't see the way this has panned out. Many of these players being offered an extended run in the first team, that is for sure. Even like Ashley Cole, who's been biding his time, waiting for the opportunity. He has not taken it. See, Mac has responded in the Twitter group. Give him 30 more seconds to reply on here before we just carry on without any changes. Doesn't look like anything coming through from Macca. So let's resume the action. 65 on the clock, 4-0 to the home side roll. Who cares is the message. And there's one back. Sarah just getting a goal for pride. And there's the goal that everyone was waiting for. Jimenez makes it 5-1 to Haggis. 6-1, and it's a brace for Jimenez. 2 goals in injury time. Unbelievable scenes at Tatty Field, and Haggis 6-1 gives them a goal difference of +6. Fulchester finishing bottom of their group with a goal difference of -5. Oh my. He's either crushed his car or he's ordering 70 quid's worth. Oh my. I think that's supposed to be who's Jimenez. He'd be scoring Super League him. Huge congratulations to Haggis and to Dan Jimenez, who has certainly shown up in that half an hour with 2 injury time goals for Haggis to give them the best current goal difference of any side in the competition. And dominated 12 attempts on goal, 9 on target, 6 of those scored. I don't think I could give less of a fuck. That's exactly the sort of the passion for the cup that we were hoping for. Let's have a look. Amoroso picks up man of the match. Rosicky also getting a 10 rating. Patrick Anderson on a 9. Got Medina there on a 9. Remember, Haggis did play essentially 80 minutes of this game with 10 men. Ashley Live there picking up a 9 rating. Jimenez off the bench to rate a 9. Wow. Impressive. Very, very impressive by Haggis. State of my reserves just proves the draft was bullshit. I disagree. Andre getting a 3. A load of the 5s improved to 6s, with the exception of Selakovic, who continued to be poor. It's just a very, very, very bad day at the office for Fulchester. In particular, the usually reliable Andre. So that means nobody other than Haggis from Group C will be qualifying. And it all comes down. That means Triple P are guaranteed a place in the quarterfinals. You disagree with me, 5. That's fine. You disagree or you like Macca. To quote something you said earlier, don't think I could give less of a fuck if you disagree. But congratulations to Haggis, who have set up a home tie against Stanley in the quarterfinals, and congratulations Triple P, who have qualified a reward for taking it seriously. Someone twat Shite Rose, please. That takes us to the final game. And Tato, the team you're looking for is Celtics. So, reminder of the situation. Bern have already qualified. They've got 4 points in this group from their 2 games. White Rose, second, 1 point after drawing with Bern in game 1. Celtics currently third with a -2 goal difference. The maths, if I've done this right, is Rose need to win to qualify. If Rose win, both they and Bern go through and Badgers go out. If Celtics win, it depends on the margin, whether they or Badgers go through. A draw doesn't help either side and Badgers qualify. So that hopefully that clears that up. And this is what Celtics go with. The same tactic, a couple of personnel changes from last time out, which you'll notice if I click there. Gravison comes in, conflict of interest here. Want Tato through, but would rather go through. Jamie Langfield continues. So Luca continues to play while not being close to full fitness. Gravison plays this time in front of Maldini and Stam. Mark Kerr and Ricken, the central midfield options. Taxidermy is fantastic. As for Rose, Steve's message was, haven't got time to do this, so keep as is, but move my AMs further forward to make it a 3. What he hasn't noticed is that Chris Perry was actually injured, so for not that he'll care too much, but as punishment, he will. Well, no, I can't really. Is there anyone I'd like to see on the bench? I did just fill everyone else's benches for them. Alan Archibald's already there. Let's put Thomas on the bench. So it's the same team as per the draw with Byrne in game week 1. Carboni for Bergkamp at earliest opportunity. No problem. But they have gone with a front 3. It is win or bust for both of these sides, with Badgers keeping an eye in the background as well. Let's find out who goes for it. Oh, good opportunity there for Celtics to open the scoring. And Ibrahimovic up the other end for White Rose. Coming up to half an hour, both sides having chances. It's 1-0 to Celtics. Shevchenko with the goal. Tato's doing the maths. Bergkamp scores, but he's offside. It's disallowed. And we reach half-time with Celtics 1 goal up. That would put them on the same points and goal difference as Badgers. But as Badgers have scored more goals, they would be going through as things stand. Match stats, White Rose, very, very disappointing. This 3 up top is not working for them at all. Celtics deservedly in the lead. Another one of those teams who have largely taken it seriously. I don't think Tato had done the maths in terms of goals scored. Indeed, mate, indeed. Sort out, Steve. Well, mate, as it stands, you're still going through a courtesy of goals scored. It's fine. Tato does not want to leave this to chance, and Celtics get a 90th minute goal. Let's carry on looking through the team here. No real conditional issues other than the one we mentioned at the start. Shevchenko and Morientes not seeing much of the ball. As for White Rose, Celtics are scoring a second 100%, says Tato. Only Steve can stop it. What have we got on the back? Oh, he wants who did he want on for? Where is it? Carboni for Bergkamp. We knew that one was coming. Any additional changes? There's a couple of 5s in there as well. Fernando, Joey Good-Johnson, Emil Heskey, all struggling in this one. Tato begging for Steve to take it a bit more seriously. The thing is, Tato really wants to be in the quarterfinals. Franca for Bermudez. One at the back. One at the back, Carboni, Central, AMC, Franca up top. Rock sending in his tactical instructions. Steve, you can just confirm you're happy with that, and we will resume the second half. Long arrows, everyone at 60. No problem. Let's resume with this then. I'm not sure Tato's going to be best pleased with his tactical, but if it works, then it's a masterstroke. Let's resume. Oh, and a good opportunity there for Celtics. 1 goal makes all the difference in this competition at this stage. Oh, and there was another opportunity for it. Shevchenko, how have they not scored? Richard Wright is saving everything in this second half. Maybe on the counter for Rose. Oh, big chance as we hit the hour mark. Wow. Tato is sweating. Oh, man. What could possibly happen here? Just a very quick look at the Celtics because I'm not seeing Greasy in the chat. A couple of players I would be bringing off, that is for sure. But they do look like they might score. As for White Rose, look at Richard Wright on his 9 rating. On the other side of the coin, Fernando not improved. Heskey not improved either. 1 substitution available. No, we don't do keepers up front here, Rox. How seriously does Steve want to rescue his cup ambitions? Because at the end of the day, Steve's the sort of manager, he wants to win games and he would love to say he was the first ever CMSL Cup winner. You know he would, as much as he's treating it with discontent for comedy effect. He's got half an hour to save his competition. Essentially, Dragons or Asta most likely waiting for the winner here. No, Steve. Have fun, yes. Take the piss out of the competition, no. Mendonca for Joey. Up arrow on his. Like that? Do you mean? I'm guessing the second Mendonca is supposed to be Poyet. I thought it was long arrows on everyone at 60. Long arrows on everyone. Oh. Like that. Yep, that's everybody. That's what we're going with at 60 then. Will it be enough to force an equaliser? Remember, both sides have to win this. And this is a goal that knocks, currently as it stands, knocks Badgers out of the competition. One goal for Rose, though, changes the whole complexion of what happens next. Oh, big opportunity for Celtics. Ibrahimovic. Heskey. And there's the final whistle. Celtics win 2-0, which ultimately knocks Badgers out of the competition. And that leaves it as Burn go there. Triple P go there. Celtics go there. Immoral legal whipple. Should be ashamed. So that concludes the group stages, and that Shevchenko goal was the big one. White Rose ultimately not good enough at all tonight. So that leaves, well, I'll confirm the draw in a second, but that leaves the group with Bern topping it with 4 points. Celtics finishing second with 3. Rose finishing bottom with 1. Tato suggesting should be ashamed. It's Steve claiming that he needs to focus on the league, and Steve on a mission to knock. Not my intention, Ian. Didn't know. Fuck off, Steve. You knew exactly the permutation. We mentioned it for about the last half an hour. As for Rose, Day Day is back. Is the message. Although not featured, so it doesn't really matter. Shevchenko getting man of the match tonight. Jamie Langfield's 8 rating, vast improvement. And that concludes the action. So that leaves the draw looking like this. The quarterfinals will be arranged that Dragons will host Celtics, Astor will host Triple P, the Gazelles will host Bern, and Haggis will host Stanley. At the conclusion of the group stages, I will arrange those friendlies when I do the packs, and they will be played in a few weeks' time. We'll get some more league games done, and Haggis have their Continental Cup as well. I shall not forget this tonight. Any wait for some knockout football to lose to the first opportunity. But yes, that concludes the CMSL Cup group stages. Congratulations to everyone who qualified. Commiserations to those who did not, particularly anyone who was taking it relatively seriously. It's Asta, can't wait to get to semi. League action does return on Thursday, and comms is available for anyone who wants it. If you don't want another night to fly by like this one, where it's just me and a few comments flashing up on the screen, then please let me know that you are free for comms. I think that's just about it. Nothing much else to say other than anyone want some transfers? I think we've reached the halfway stage in the league. It's a good time to bring some in, maybe. And I think there's been some waiting patiently. So let's do something absolutely mental. Why not? To make up for the absolute shenanigans that have been the CMSL Cup, in celebration of everybody that rocked up to Edinburgh and had a wonderful weekend in Scotland, let's make the same amount of transfers available as Scotland wins in their failed Qatar qualifying group, which means every team will be issued 7 transfers for the rest of the season. No out of leagues, 7 within league transfers between now and the end of the season. But I will put a lock on game week 20 as I have with the loan window. That should be more than enough to keep you lot happy and stop moaning at me. 7 transfers, enjoy. But from CMSL HQ until Thursday, good night.